Declan, lovely to see you as always. You've had a bit of time to reflect after June's Nations League matches. How do you look back on that?
Yeah, obviously, was a tough period. Obviously, we come off the back of a season, a long season. All players had a week off. Got away, went on holidays. Obviously, Man City won the Premier League. A load of different things, and then come back into obviously England. And it was like a mini pre-season in a way. Obviously, when you stop for a week and then get going again, it's harder than people think. And obviously, we didn't have the best results in the first game, and it carried on. But there were positive signs, even though the results probably didn't go our way. We should have won the Italy game, Germany game. We obviously created the better chances. But I feel like the last game is the one obviously everyone's going to talk about. And in football, nothing's perfect. You're going to have blips along the way. You're going to have bad results. It's about how you react as a team and how you stick together. And we spoke about that yesterday. And we've cleared the air now. We know what's required. And like I said, I feel like we needed that as a team to push forward and get better.
I was going to say, it's pretty much the first big bump in the road under Gareth Southgate, and that you've all experienced. So in a way, I suppose you can kind of learn from that. What message do you have for the fans, perhaps, that are quite disgruntled leading into these two matches?
Yeah, I don't think they need to be. Obviously after 2018, getting to a semi-final, getting to a final last summer, to lose one game in football isn't the end of the world. If you look at the exciting players we've got and the squad we have, and how well the manager cares for us as players and all his staff, we're all on the same page. We're all looking forward to a World Cup. We're all positive. We're ready to really go and attack it. Obviously these next two games coming up are massive. But obviously there's a bigger picture as well ahead of us, which is the World Cup, and the end goal of that is to lift the World Cup.
Yeah, obviously Gareth Southgate has talked about some players' form not being ideal, a lot of players not getting minutes necessarily, a few injuries. It's quite a difficult time at the moment. How do you as a squad kind of get over that and make sure that it's a positive lead into the World Cup?
Yeah, I think you need to obviously adapt. We're obviously at our clubs more than we are here, so it's down to us to get ourselves in the best possible condition, doing everything we can on and off the pitch to feel right heading into that World Cup, whether you've had minutes, whether you're out of form. I think the main thing is when you come here, you always feel so loved, so welcome, and it's like a fresh air really when you come here and you step onto that training pitch. New environment, new faces. So I feel like for loads of the lads, it's really good to get here and see different things again. So look, I think heading into the World Cup, we'll all be in a good place. Obviously, after a long season last year, it's taken a few games to get going. But I feel like by the time the World Cup comes, it will really stand us in good stead and we'll be ready to go.
We've got 2 months going into a World Cup. Everybody has their opinions on who's selected. And of course, Gareth himself, when he took over, said that he was going to pick players on form. And there are some players in this squad not necessarily in the best of form. Does that matter going into a World Cup?
No, I don't think so. I feel like, club, even with me, I've sometimes in the past not come into England probably in the best vein of form maybe 2 years ago, but I've then put on an England shirt and I found my best form again. Playing for your country brings something out of you that you just can't describe. I think lads that come in obviously that are not in form, that's football. Sometimes you can't be a Messi or Ronaldo where you're at the top of your game constantly. It's going to fluctuate. But then it's down to us to refine that form and refine that confidence. And I feel like Gareth knows how to get the best out of the players he's selected. There's a core group here that know how to work with him. And every time we come here, we feel like we're ready to play. The confidence is sky high, and I feel like that's why he picks the squads he does. Because he knows what he's going to get out of players.
Yeah, you're part of that spine, that core part of the team. Calvin Phillips was obviously your wingman, if you like, in the Euros, but it's difficult times for him at the moment. We'll see how his shoulder surgery goes. A lot of people calling for Jude Bellingham to start alongside you. He obviously has done in both those Hungary games. What do you think Jude brings to this England squad?
I think he's energetic, he's strong, self-belief, no fear. He's got everything. As a 19-year-old now, obviously he'd been training with us from when he was 18, but he is a man. He's played on the big occasions already, and he's ready to play. Obviously, it's down to the manager to pick what he thinks is best. But look, when I played with Jude, I loved it. Obviously, it takes time to settle with a partner. You're not going to get that connection straight away, but over time you do. And look, even with all the other midfielders in the squad, I hope that we can go on for the next 10 years and create a special bond in the middle of the pitch. So look, with Jude, if it is him who I get to play with, or Hendo, or Calv, or any of their mixtures, even if I'm not involved, I hope that everyone does well, because that's what you need as a squad. You need a squad, and you need everyone to be at it, and you need to be ready whenever you're called upon.
Yeah, we've seen Jordan Henderson come back into the side, obviously injury problems, and only made substitute appearances in the Euros, but somebody like that, yourself as a leader around someone like Jude, can only bring the best out of him. What are you able to help him with his game?
If I was playing next to Jude, obviously I already have done, but in a major tournament, I would say to him just to go and express himself, go and do what he does best. Go and get on the ball, go and attack people, go and run at people. If you lose the ball, I don't care. Like, just go and enjoy it, and I'll be there to defend for you. I feel like when you've got a player like that, you need to give him the luxury of getting on the ball and expressing themselves. And he's got that in him, but he's still only 19. We need to remember. I feel like with media, you always get pushed, and there's a big expectation of what's required, but I feel like we need to just keep letting him settle, and you'll see the best of Jude. He's still only 19, so I think by the time he's 22, 23, he's gonna be incredible. Insane.
19 and 15 caps. When you say express yourself, not dye his hair red like Reece James, maybe.
Reece, he loves an haircut recently. It suits him, to be fair. I couldn't do it, no chance.
No, we're not going to see that. Head of Qatar.
Nah, slick. That's the way forward for me.
I want to talk to you about Ivan Toney's call up. We've just heard from him in the press conference there. Very confident player at that kind of age where he really wants to grab this opportunity with both hands. I know you've only had one training session and you were indoors for it, but how impressed have you been with him?
I think from the moment he stepped foot in the Premier League, he's took it by storm, really. If you look at what he does for Brentford, how consistent he is, and what he does for his team, is fully deserving of a call-up. He's kind of like Harry Kane in a way, where he's not only an out-and-out striker, he's a playmaker as well. His left foot and right foot passing, and the way he picks stuff out for his teammates is, it's a special technique to have, and he's fully deserving of being here, and I'm really looking forward to playing with him.
A couple of final questions for you on the national anthem, because you're going to be the first England squad in 70 years to be singing God Save the King when we get to Milan. I mean, that must feel quite surreal.
Yeah, that's obviously a special feeling. We obviously had to sing it on Sunday at Goodison. It was a weird one because I got my words tangled up, obviously, a little bit, because you have to change it now. But we'll get used to it, and like you said, what an occasion to have it in Milan, and hopefully we can get a good result and kickstart a good new era.
And then even more so on the turf at Wembley as well, singing the national anthem in front of a packed Wembley Stadium against Germany, bearing in mind what happened in '66.
Yeah, it was a special game, a historic game. We obviously had the Euros against them there, so it's not the first time we've played against them at Wembley. But look, obviously with what's happened with the Queen, it's going to be an incredible occasion, a historic occasion, and us as players, you can't ask to play in any bigger football matches, so we'll look forward to it.